Thank you for the risk of reflecting on the reality of sexual struggles. Most people want those issues to go away and are unwilling to enter a conversation on what's going on in their own life. Let me underline a few assumptions related to this video. First of all, you are not alone. It is so easy to think that you are the one person who struggles. Everyone struggles to some degree with unwanted and unbidden sexual thoughts, feelings, fantasies, and behaviors through their lifetime. Second, our struggles are not just a failure to manage lust. There's a lot of emptiness, hurt, anger, and especially shame in all our sexual struggles. And third, our war with sexuality is not going to be resolved in any one single moment or process. White knuckling will not give us control. More accountability is not going to socially help us escape the inner war. And the more we worship will not magically lift us out of sexual darkness. Look, I'm not undermining choice, relational care, or worship. They are always involved in the process of change, and yet they're not in and of themselves escape routes. And finally, our sexual struggles, fantasies, and behaviors have more meaning than we faced. They're part of our family of origin, our unique binds and relationships with our mother and our father and our attachment history. What this video interaction with a young man by the name of Malcolm addresses is another factor in the long war regarding our sexuality. Let me tell you just a little bit about the context before I engage the content of the video. Tremper Longman and I wrote a book called God Loves Sex, and part of the book involved a fictional Bible study studying the book of Song of Songs. Malcolm is a 20-year-something millennial who gets roped into coming to this study in the suburbs, and he's confused about his sexuality. His boss has invited him to come and study a book of erotic poetry in the Bible. A year after the book came out, I was walking to my office and a young man introduced himself as Malcolm. And Malcolm from the book. Needless to say, I was incredulous and skeptical. I've never met someone of my own creation from a fictional context, but that's what he claimed. We agreed to meet 4 times to talk about a woman who had come into his life, but deeply confused him. Look, the process of dealing with Malcolm opens the door to some of his history. He has a history of past sexual abuse. He has a complicated relationship with his mother that we'll call the experience of triangulation. And triangulation is where a parent puts a child in the position of being like a surrogate spouse, in which there's a level of intimacy, care, and engagement that asks of a young boy or girl to take on what they were never meant to experience. And so all our sexual struggles involve shame, but it also involves a history that we often have not addressed directly. Our relationship with our parents, the nature of our own attachment, the experience of triangulation, and what we're inviting you to engage in this video is your own story. What's your story of relationship with your parents? What's the story of your own experience of the role that you bore in your family? What's the experience of shame? And what we're inviting you to do as you look at a form of fiction is to begin to look at the nature of your own heart and life. And again, I thank you for taking the risk to consider the nature of the core struggles of your sexuality as being more than the matter of lust, but actually opening the door to even greater clarity about shame.